Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm glad for anyone that is able to join me now or join me later. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've purchased a ticket for the 10 Toes Down Symposium, the 10 Toes Down Self Empowerment Symposium, and this is your first time joining me, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm very busy. I actually just got off a conference call. So I'm transitioning from one thing to the next. But I want to say welcome. I hope that your day was great. And we've got a nice topic to talk about tonight. And the one thing I want to discuss and remind you is that, you know, my YouTube channel is not a religious YouTube channel, but one thing about it, I believe in God, not ashamed of it. My life ain't perfect, just like yours isn't. But at the same time, we can navigate through life together on this journey. I'm here to encourage you to be the best person that you can be. And hopefully, after today, you feel inspired and empowered to be the best version of yourself. All right, so let's get into tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is going to be called, as you can see, Your Body is Your Temple. And many say, why did you choose that topic? The reason why I chose that particular topic is because we live in a hypersexual society at this particular time. You know, there are a lot of things that are accepted now that I know when I was a kid, I you would get in trouble. I remember Salt and Pepper had that song "Push It," and I was probably like 9 or 10. I'm telling y'all my age, almost 44. So I remember my mom whooping my butt because I just said push it. She was like, "Don't you say that." Told my butt up. I thought I had said a bad word. But now, in this day and age, times have truly changed. You know, there are children that just curse worse than adults. And, you know, kids are having sex at earlier ages. There's lots of sexually transmitted diseases that are out here. And, you know, people just running loose, adding bodies to their life without realizing that they're also adding spirits to their soul. So let's get into the topic. Okay, first thing I want to talk about is you understanding you. You know, in the Bible, it tells you love thy neighbor as yourself, right? As thyself, right? But we've got so many people in this world that are searching for love from other people when they need to learn how to love themselves. They don't realize how powerful they are. You know, you as an individual, you know, some you may or may not think highly of yourself, but everything you need is right here inside. You've got to trust the process. You've got to do all the necessary things to do the work to help yourself heal, forgive people, you know, all of those great things to help you be at peace with yourself. Because you can't truly love anyone if you don't love you. That's something I want y'all to understand. You know, you can have the best relationship in the world, but when you look in the mirror, if you can't tell yourself, I love you, and truly mean it, it'll cause you to not be affectionate. It's going to affect you in your personal and your personal life, your business life, all those things. And you may go through cases of anxiety, depression, you know, all types of of tragedies can happen to you simply because you don't believe in yourself or that you don't love yourself. You know, when we're single, a lot of times we're like, I'm single, I'm lonely, I'm this, that, and the other. Well, do you know yourself? Did you do the work to fix you? And if the answer is a no, I trust and believe that you need to do what is necessary until you're able to fully take on a relationship. You have to keep in mind that everybody comes with some type of baggage, from the perspective of, they may have unhealed trauma, they may have baby mamas, they may have baby daddies, they may have bad debts, they might be an ex-felon that has to go to a parole officer. There could be a number of things. And you have got to be mentally capable of taking on that. Because once you're with someone, no matter what, you might be individuals, but in some ways you're together. You're one, especially if you spend a lot of time together. And that's something that I want you guys to know and understand, that when you are having sex out here so freely, you're not just taking on another penis or another vagina. You're also taking on a spirit, or two or three or four, however many of these people are carrying. Whether you believe in good and evil, that's on you. But good and evil believe in you. Okay? You may be the happiest person in the world, right? But then you turn around and you have sex with an individual, and then all of a sudden you feel depressed. You don't feel like yourself. You don't know what's going on with you. You can't put your finger on it. Your life seems chaotic. You're getting anxiety. You're feeling all types of feelings that you never felt before. But you never stop to think that whatever you're feeling got transferred to you when you exchange bodily fluids or consummated. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not no virgin. Okay? I got 3 children. I understand the whole concept of sex. Okay? And how it works. But no matter which way we look at it, no matter how many times we look at it, and it's so hard. But in God's eyes, premarital sex, no matter what you say or do, is fornication. And every time you have sex, you're performing the marital act. Yeah. When I was a little girl, everybody tell you, get married, you do this, all of this stuff. They tell you that, but they don't tell you to love yourself. They don't tell you to love yourself. When you truly love yourself, that is the beginning of your purpose. Because you can't guide anybody else until you can guide you, okay? And when I say love yourself, love every part of yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly. If it's something about you want to change it. But whatever you do, make sure that you do it with a smile. I'm serious. You got to sometimes praise your way through situations. And I made a vow to myself. I was like, when I was single, I was like, I'm going to love myself so hard and so well that the minute that I feel like I'm not being loved right, that I'm going to back up. I'm telling y'all, my cutoff game, when I tell y'all my cutoff game is strong, my cutoff game is strong because I love me some me. And if I find myself crying, if I find myself continuously telling someone about a situation and that person has done nothing to impact it or make that better, then I got to back up. If it's meant for us to be together, then we're going to be together. If it's not, it was nice knowing you. I'm going to have my one day, and I'm going to let y'all know I'm on a relationship for one day. Yeah, it might hurt a little bit, but you only get tears for one day. If you get them that day, depending on whether or not I detached already. And you might get about a good 4 hours out of me of crying or me reflecting. But then I'm going to have a funeral for that relationship. I don't need no closure from that individual. I will have a whole funeral for that relationship so that I can give myself closure. And then I'm get me something to drink. Get me something to drink, just not getting drunk, but get me something to pour out to the ground to it. Toast to a better future in life. Lesson learned. Keep on going. That's it. You see, I'm not going to not get something out of that. But I understand that sometimes, especially to love yourself and to keep yourself from getting hurt when someone is hurting you, you got to pull back. That's why I mean, love thy neighbor as thyself. If you love you so much, you will be able to spot red flags ahead of time and recognize bad treatment really, really fast. See your body? Y'all see my body? Hey, this is me all the way. All my little arms and all. But I love me some me. I'm telling you now, I love me some me. It could just be me, my plants, and my teddy bears, because I love me some teddy bears too, and my flowers. And I'll be fine. Because as long as I got God, y'all, I'm telling y'all, that's how content that I've learned to be with God and myself in this oneness. Because you got to have a relationship with God. When you have a relationship with God, everything inside of you, you're going to love you. Then you're going to feel loved. And all that love you've been given away, you're going to realize you need to hold on to it. Hold on to it until you're ready to release. Like, here's my cup, y'all. I can give me some water too. Just imagine, this is your body. This is you. This is your temple right here. You see how tall that cup is? Nice amount of water in there, right? The cup fills to the brim. This representation of you. Unless you have spillage or overflow, the answer is no. You do not give from what you have for yourself. You can only give from your overflow. Sometimes you have got to learn the power of saying no. See, when I say your body is your temple, that means you got to protect it in all aspects. Mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And when you get all of that down and you have some control of that, you'll find your life is balancing itself out. See, with me, here we go. With me, this represents God. This represents my peace of mind right there. And they're perfectly aligned. But sometimes life, I call it life be lifing. And you may have that shift. If it shifts up, my peace shifts up, or it shifts down. I'm going to do everything I can to get it realigned with God. I got to. Because when all else fails, God got my back. And that's the same thing for you. I don't know what you believe in, but I'm going to tell you, if you ain't got nothing to believe in God, baby, can't go wrong. That doesn't mean your life is not going to be, it's going to be easy and roses, this and the other. Y'all should know better than that, because Jesus' life wasn't easy, okay? I don't care what belief you in. In this life itself, you're not going to go without struggle. You're like, what do you mean? You come in the world of struggle. You coming through a cervix with a big old head and broad shoulders, almost killing the mother. So that tells you right there, hey, you don't come in this life without struggle. But you could do things to feed your mind, to make your journey easy. And don't always rush for the end result, okay? Don't do it. From my previous lives, I told y'all to get a book. Y'all, this book is so good. A Woman of Purpose and Power. It's a 90-day devotional. I don't care which one you get, but this one, if you're looking for the same one I have, is by Dr. Miles Monroe, and it's absolutely great. And it makes a lot of sense, and it encourages you to read other scriptures and just different things you find out about yourself. But again, that's a part of me feeding my temple. I'm feeding my temple, my body, good things, my mind, good things, surrounding myself with positive energy, because I'm responsible for my happiness, and I have to make great choices in order for me to stay happy. Some things you just can't help what happens. And I understand that, some people get raped, and that's a tragic thing, get molested, any of that. But remember something, unless you consent to giving your body away, baby, you are still okay. And don't let whatever that person did to you, don't allow whatever that individual did to you to hurt you. I want you to remember that. And even though you be like, I want to kill him, this and the other, don't do it. Forgive them. You ain't got to tell them, but forgive them, release them. Forgive them not because they deserve it, but to set yourself free. See, one of the things, well, I'll say it's a big thing. It's been the big thing for me, a big thing for many people. But unforgiveness can have you in such a dark place that it can shut you off from loving people correctly. It can shut you off from loving yourself. I didn't realize it, but my children's father, it took me going to see my brother, who's a pastor in Washington, D.C., and he and my sister-in-law talked with me, and I didn't realize that I still had some unforgiveness in my heart for the father of my children. And that's because of the different things that he took me through. I felt like he could have been a better father to our children, because unlike other women, I wasn't that one trying to keep him from his kids. I was doing drive-bys. Kids, pack up your stuff. You're going to daddy's. I was like, my car don't work. That's all right. Keep the kids. They didn't miss any days from school. Bring them back when your car works. It's mighty funny. His car wound up working by the time it's time for him to bring them home. And we have 3. But I had to forgive him, y'all. I had to forgive him. And when I did that, it was a sense of release. And see, in my case, I couldn't just say it in the air. I actually had to call him. And it was so weird. But he needed me to forgive him too. I'm not saying everything's perfect, but I can say that, he knows he can call me if he needs to, and I can call him if I need to, and that's it. But will there ever be anything else? Nope, because I love me enough, again, to stay away from situations that cause me harm. All right? Because again, this is my temple. So I got to feed it good things, got to be around good things, got to be inspired each and every day of my life. So now we are fin to go into story time. All right. Tell y'all something that happened. And it's something that really sparked me to choose this topic of you being a temple. I think a mosquito here bit me. Sorry about that, y'all, with the scratching. But over the weekend, had a really good time with one of my friends, and getting to meet people she knew. And this man, he was a nice guy, but I was just listening to him talk to them and everything else, and I was quiet. I didn't say nothing. And then she said, why aren't you talking? Why don't you say anything? I was like, I'm not sure that y'all want me to say anything. And it's like, no, you need to. And his logic was just all the way off. He said that when he goes on a first date, the expectation is for him and that person to have sex, so that they determine whether or not they want to continue to deal with each other, because it's a waste of time for him to get to know that person. And I responded by saying, why do you think so little of yourself? And he's like, come again. What are you talking about? He tried to explain himself to and the other. I said, no, you talk. Now it's my turn. And I told him, as I'm telling y'all tonight, why? Look at that mosquito. Y'all, I told you the mosquito in here. Why would you give a stranger now, the keys to your life? I'll wait. When you have sex with somebody on the first night, you are giving a stranger keys to your life. Like, oh, I wore a condom. Did you wear a condom when you did everything? Okay. Because these days people do some really, really nasty stuff. All right. Let's just be honest. And The fact is, yeah, you might not be wasting time, but if the condom bursts, that person may end up pregnant. That you have sex, depending on how you do it, you might end up with a stalker. In addition to that, you may end up with AIDS or other STDs because you gave a stranger the keys to your life the very first night. And the individual, it's like, I asked for tests and this, that, and the other. How many people walk around with they test on hand the very first night you meeting somebody? You trying to determine whether or not you want to go any further with that person. But you do have some people that do have sex on the first night, and that's what you do. That's you. But I need you to remember what all you have at stake when you do that. Not only are you having sex with somebody that's a stranger to you, or it could be somebody you know, but whatever they got going on in their body is now a part of you. And you don't have anybody else to blame but yourself. Nobody to blame but yourself. Understand that by having sex on the first night, you are also opening yourself up to all the spirits that are attached to that individual. And that's simply because with everybody you have sex with, you create a soul tie until it's released. So if you've got a person that's basically community property and jumping on any and everything that's out here, whether it be female or male, they have spirits that are attaching to them that they don't see. I call them succubus. And these various spirits that they don't see will find its way back to you. And if you are not spiritually prepared to handle whatever they got going on, you're going to be in for a ride. And I need y'all to understand that. So don't think of it as, oh, I'm just having sex. I'm just having fun. Are you ready to be attached to whatever it is that individual has going on? And if the answer is no, slow your roll, pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. And then you need to ask yourself this other question. What is the purpose of you talking to this person? And people need to be more blunt. I'm going to tell you now, when I date, I ask a very, very blunt question, whether people want to hear it or not. And I don't ask it very nicely. I be very straightforward, and it's simple. What are your intentions with me? Like, what do you mean? Get to know you. I'm like, no, what are your intentions? And I'm like, be honest. And I say, do you want a friend? Do you want a relationship? Or do you want to have sex? But it doesn't always come out with that particular word. And I can tell you, I have left people speechless because I want to know the truth. And even if you don't tell me, I'm an empath, so I'll be able to figure it out. And the maximum amount of time, because I love me, so I value my time. And so because I value my time, the longest I'm going to be dating somebody is 72 hours. That's all I got. Because within that 72 hours, I am making a determination of whether or not I want that individual to court me. And there is a difference. If you don't know, dating, you just randomly going through, getting to know people, so on and so forth. When you're courting, you found that person, and that person has found you, and you all have decided to become exclusive. You may not be officially in a relationship just yet, but I recommend during the courting stage that, as long as you can, don't have sex. All right? Because it changes the dynamics of things. Make sure that if you're going to give your body to somebody, that the role itself is defined. Don't have somebody have you out here in a situationship. People like, what do you call it? They say a situationship. Yes, you in a situation that's a relationship. People will have you all twisted up in your feelings. You'll be visiting family, friends, all of this stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, we together, but we're not together." So how is your family supposed to interpret that? Okay, don't let someone use your body, or as my grandma say, go to the bathroom on you if you're a lady, or empty your pockets if you're a man. Make sure that the person that you're with values you as an individual, you know, because you're worthy. I need you to know your worth. I need you to understand that you are more than that meal at Chick-fil-A or whatever fine dining restaurant. And somebody's like, man, why you think like that? To me, if you have sex on the first date, you a prostitute. Like, what you talking about? It's an exchange. That person bought you some food, you gave them some sex. Isn't that prostitution? You just didn't exchange money, you know? But I look at things a little bit different. Y'all might not see it like that, but that's the way I see it. To me, it's prostitution because that person's getting something, you're giving them something, and y'all are perfect strangers. So, yeah. And guys, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. And you might not be ready for this one, I tell you. But women do not just have random sex. If a woman is having sex with you and if she decided to give herself to you, it's not because she's just trying you. It's because she trusts you enough that she possibly sees something with you. If a woman be like, I don't care about nothing like that. I just want to that woman a lie. She has some type of trauma that she went through that has hurt her, that has her walls up. But you are coming inside of a woman, and a female is a man's rib. All right. And, unfortunately, people like to talk about masculine, feminine, women, this, that, and the other. We all have that balance of both, men and women alike. Men, before you become a woman in the womb, before you become a man, you are a woman in the womb because you don't have no penis. If that reproductive organ is the defining moment of you becoming a man, then we all was the same at one point. We didn't have any reproductive organs. But men, do not be tricked. Women do not just have sex with you and not expect something. Because if she's having sex with you, you giving her some money. If she's not, and then if you a person that can break bread, she might not be having sex with you because of the sex, but she gonna find a way to make you continuously give her money. And that's what I'm talking about right there. You got to know your worth. We in this what they call bad B era, such and such and such. Everybody like, I'm a bad B, all this other stuff. And guys, I'm gonna say this straight out. The term bitch is a slavery term for those that don't know. If you are calling yourself a bitch, that is the term that's now defined as a female dog. But back in slavery days, the word bitch represented a female slave when they went to the market. And a buck, like we refer to a buck now as a deer, like a big, strong deer in the forest. But a buck was the name of a male slave being auctioned off. So be very careful with the terms that you use when you're referring to yourself. Even the word nigger, Nigger. People are like, oh, that word is derogatory. It is. It's defined as an ignorant person. Just because you black don't mean you're a nigger, right? And that word was taken from a royal word called negus, Negus. And I wish people would start using negus rather than the word nigger or nigga, Nigga. Makes a difference. But yeah, negus is a royal term. Yeah. You know what? Let me look and see. Let me look it up because I love to give facts when I'm doing things. I just can't remember everything by heart. Give me just one moment. I'm going to bring it to y'all. Give it just a moment. Make sure I spelled it right. Yep, Negus. So when we're going on here, now that the word then changed again. Okay, depending on where the word is coming from, negus means a hot drink or port, sugar, lemon, and spices. But that's not true in Africa. No. See, English, they love to, America, we love to change words around, word play, this, that, and the other. Words that are derivative of other words. But to take away from the greatness of the word, the Webster's Dictionary, and Merriam-Webster he wasn't so great when it came to people of, I'll say Black people. Okay. But negus is a title of Ethiopian royalty, the Emperor of Ethiopia. Yeah, you look it up. Look it up. Don't always look for words and their meaning in American dictionaries. Learn your history. Think outside the box, appreciate other cultures. Again, I'm looking at the various dictionaries. English, Oxford, they name it as a drink. But it came from Ethiopia, negus. And they took the word negus and came up with the word nigger to be the opposite of the royal term. All right. And it says from the personal name negus, meaning king, in the Aramaic language. Note, since Ethiopians do not have hereditary surnames, this name was registered as such only at the immigration of its bearers to the U.S. So understand that words have power, and you need to speak life over yourself. You need to encourage yourself, and you need to be very careful with who you allow in your temple because they bring baggage. And I'm not judging you if you do have sex on the first night. That's on you. But just be prepared for all the hell that's going to break loose from whatever demons you taking on in somebody else's life. If you're not ready for it, be careful. Be careful. I have a mission, and that mission is to help you unlock the power of you. There are so many people that, again, are looking for love in all the wrong places, and they just need to look inside. You need to take the time, do the work, and look inside. Life itself is short, guys, and you don't want to waste your time trying to make something work with somebody that's not trying to work with you. You don't want to try to give all your love and stuff to your family members, and ain't nobody giving you nothing back. Just like I was telling y'all before, here's a cup. You give from your overflow. As long as you have something pouring into you, you can continuously give. But if you don't have something pouring into you like God, eventually, whatever you got in here that you've been giving away, your cup is going to eventually be empty. So where do you go from there when you don't have anybody filling you up? I want you to be great in everything that you do. I want you to know that although you may not know me, I believe in you. And it matters. Having someone believe in you matters. Whatever you aspire to do, as long as you are not harming someone else, let me stress that. Because if you are aspiring to be an assassin, I do not condone that. Okay. Let's get that straight. But if you are aspiring to be something positive, to be a light in this world and to impact people in a great way to help them elevate to the next level, I am all for it. I am all for it. But it starts with you. Let's start the elevation process with you. For those of you that don't know, I do have a podcast. And if you are struggling with the healing process, you can go to rss.com and look at J. Marie Speaks. You can look at my page. You can also, I did launch a Facebook for J. Marie Speaks, and it's J. Marie Speaks, and it's a public page. And you can leave me a comment. You can make posts as long as they're positive. I have no problem with that. Because I want you to connect with me. But I just want to really, really be able to inspire people to be the best version of themselves. Letting y'all know, I'm launching a tour. It's going to be starting in the spring. I haven't finalized the venues or anything yet. It just came to me the other morning, about 4:00 in the morning. But the tour is going to be called No More Drama 2024. And, just come out, you'll be blessed. It's trying to get it where it can be free for the public, and we go to different states so that we can ignite the fire of positive change so that you can be impactful in your communities. Inviting, other people from various platforms if they choose to join, but if not, we can still do it. But again, we need to be the change that we want the world to see. It doesn't make any sense to complain about life and complain about everything that's occurring, and you are doing absolutely nothing to fix it. Can't do that. But you have to start with yourself. Like Michael Jackson said, I'm talking to the man in the mirror. Look in the mirror at yourself. Do you love yourself? Do you love yourself? I want you to, do a little exercise. And when you guys, if you get a chance to do a little exercise, I want you to, I'm getting ready to make a little chart. I want you to make out a list. And I want you to list the pros. This on here, I want you to list the pros about yourself. And then I want you to list the cons about yourself. And whatever are the cons, whatever are the bad things that you think of yourself, and you need to be brutally honest with yourself. That lets you know that you need to do the work to move those things in the con column to the pros column. Okay? So that when you get that next relationship, or if you're in a relationship, it can only get better. It can only get better. But you got to first learn how to be in a relationship with you. If you need to take some classes, go to therapy, guys, that's all about self-care. Because the person that you are experiencing, because that's exactly what you're doing when you're with an individual, you are experiencing that individual's life, and they're experiencing you. And you guys, at the end of the day, are trying to determine whether or not you want to have a life partnership. Some people, they'll tell you from the beginning, I don't want nothing, this, that, and the other. Well, if they tell you that, you better listen. That is a conscious choice and decision that they have made for their life, and they are not going to change. And if you make the decision to take your temple to get in that relationship, baby, that's your own fault, because that person told you how they were from the beginning. So you put yourself at risk because of lust or what you think you can get out the relationship. You have to remember, especially if you are an empath, you have to set boundaries, because takers do not have any at all. They don't have none. And so you got to ask yourself, What does a real relationship look like for you? Are you relatable? Are you approachable? Do you need to work on you to the point where that maybe you need to back up from people so you can fix you? That's a very adult decision to do. But are you ready for that adult decision? You know, I don't have any idea, who this message may or may not impact. Some people, don't like to comment, and I understand. But I don't come on here week after week just because I have nothing else to do. Trust me, I go to school, I work, I travel, I have my plants. I love my plants. Um, I'm a mom, but all my children are grown and they live on their own. So I could be doing other things, but that's not what God wants me to do. Trust me, I tried to avoid it. Y'all, it is not easy coming on here and talking about very personal things sometimes about my own life. But I hear an echo from God that tells me somebody needs to hear what you got. And I'm like, God, for real? Then I'm like, can you let somebody else do it? And he like, then I know he'd be looking at me. I can't see him, but I know he'd be looking at me like, you know what I'm saying? I know what Jesus meant when he was like, Father, take this cup from me. Because sometimes, you could be one of God's strongest soldiers, but I swear I feel like I be getting beat up. I get through it, but it's like, whoo, can I get a break, Father? But everything's for his glory. And God has done so much for me, y'all. I survived. I at this point, I'm being honest with y'all, I'm so happy to be able to talk about God and, you know, to be, on this YouTube channel to give out a message to whoever listens to it. But guys, when my daughter was born, 2 weeks after my daughter was born, you know, I had hemorrhage. I was hemorrhaging to death in the middle of the night. And it wasn't because of my fault. It's because at the hospital, they left 2 pieces of placenta in my uterus. And I was breastfeeding my daughter. So my white blood cell count was up. So the breast milk that I was giving her was causing her to be jaundiced. So she was on a belly bed. But just like that, both myself and my daughter's life could have been gone. But I'm here to say I'm proud. My baby girl is 21. My baby boy 23, and my I still call my baby boy too. My oldest, he 25. I'm a proud mama, and my children are my greatest accomplishments. And yes, I have degrees and all that other stuff, but unlike all of you guys, degrees and stuff don't mean anything to me. I have a master's, so I don't care about the status of other people and how they are, if they're a celebrity. None of that stuff matters, because unless your name is Jesus, like when I tell you, unless your name is Jesus, God, and you doing something great, it's okay. I'm happy for you, but I can't say that I'm going to be starstruck. One of my favorite artists is Beyonce. And I would love to meet her one day. But one of the things that a lot of people don't realize that she did with her music is she practiced self-care all the way through it with some of her albums. She knows how to love herself. She knows when to stop. And that's all I'm trying to tell you. Love yourself. And stop having sex with everybody. Know your worth, baby. Don't give all the good away. As my daddy say, the snapper. Don't do it. You too good to just give all your goodness away. Guys, same thing for you. Stop giving all your goodness away. Your future wife or your future lady, she don't want, you're going to be tired. Give us something. Okay? Y'all, I know I'm laughing, but I'm so serious. I am so serious. We have got to do better. I get it. It's a hypersexual society on social media. They glorifying twerking and this and that and all this other stuff. But I need you all to practice self-worth. I need you to look deep within yourself at your core and ask yourself, whatever you're doing, is it elevating you to that next level of life? Is it elevating you to be the best version of yourself? Do you feel happy with yourself? Do you feel whole? And if the answer is not a clear yes, I feel happy. Yes, I'm whole. Yes, yes, yes. And you say it without any resentment, guilt, anger, or shame. Then I say, keep doing what you're doing. But let's just be real. Sleeping with somebody different every single night, you might as well go out there and go make your money. And you know what I'm talking about. You're not a prostitute, so stop acting like it. Okay? Women and men alike. Get to know people. I ain't talking about all this 90-day rule and all this other stuff. I'm talking about actually get to know somebody without the thought of let me get in their drawers. Let me have sex with that person. Get to know the true individual. You'll be surprised. There's so many great people out there. You guys may have sports in common, might just have fun together. It may be the silliest thing, cook together, any of that. But just imagine being in a healthy relationship. Some people ain't never been in a healthy relationship. But just imagine you with a man that's whole and loves himself, and then you turn around and you're with a woman that's whole and she loves herself. How great can that be for you? You deserve it. You deserve every aspect of it. Stop letting people cheat you in this life. People, they lower you the standard. They like, I see these podcasts out here and they say, a high value woman or a high value man. All them people can shut up. You want to know why? You're not high value because you're rich. I know some rich people and they're jerks and they are not high value. I'm sorry. I know some people that don't make that much money, but those people love themselves and they're respectful, they have integrity, they're kind. Oh man, just great all around people. Those are high value people. Money doesn't make you high value. Not at all. Another narrative that's being played out too, single parents, women and men alike. Your worth is not lowered because you have a child. Your worth is not lowered because you have multiple kids, or people like to say breeders. Don't do that. Your worth is not, you're not devalued. At the end of the day, your children are your legacy. And when you're dating, make sure the person is worthy to be around your kids. Be selective because your children, like I said, are your legacy. So with that being said, you need to screen them. You need to screen them. Make sure you don't have somebody that's because y'all know we're in cuffing season right now. And if you don't know what cuffing season is, basically somebody boo up with you through the holiday season and dump you before Valentine's Day so that they can have a hot boy, a hot girl summer. Be careful. You know, you got some out here getting with people that they normally wouldn't get with so they can get a PlayStation, such and such and such. And tell y'all something. If you know somebody, y'all just getting together, you got a limit for Christmas under $50. You don't know somebody, if you only know them a month, child, don't go past 30. Okay? They just better be glad they with you. Don't let people use you. Love yourself enough to the point where you know when somebody's using you. And believe me, there are 7 billion people in this world. Do not allow one person to be your problem. People love to say, oh, you think you too good. You did. I sure do. I hope you do too. You can be confident, but not necessarily arrogant. And if somebody thinks it's arrogant, that's their problem. Because honestly, other people's opinion of you is technically none of your business. It's just not. Me, I'm not judging you. You want to sleep with 100 people on the football team, baby, you go ahead and be great. But when you can't work, when you can't walk, and you catch the clap, or you catch AIDS, and you catch anything out here, don't blame God because you was tooted over. Don't do that. Don't do that. You can't blame God for your decisions. I need y'all to understand that. See, God will forgive you, but that does not mean that you're not going to go through and suffer the consequences of your actions. Telling y'all be having this word twisted. And I had somebody say, how you know the Bible real, this, that, and the other. It's simple. Even if you're not religious, there's good and there's evil in the Bible. People did good things, people did bad things in the Bible. Thou shalt not kill. Don't kill nobody. You don't have to be, you could be an atheist and no, don't kill anyone. You didn't give that life. Don't kill anyone. Thou shalt not steal. Don't take anything that don't bother anybody. Don't fornicate. Guess what? God's like, and you know, I have people get upset with me when I told them. There's like, you, because all my life people say, you got to get married, you got to get married. I'm like, let me take care of myself first. Let me understand me, you know, before I just cling to someone. Like, you did it out of order. I'm like, yeah, many of us have. But we deal with our circumstances because you don't know why things happen the way that it did. Okay? But when you're thinking about the Bible and marriage, ladies, for those of you that don't know, go to 1 Corinthians 7, chapter 1 through the 7, I think it's verses 1 through 40. I think that's it. Forgive me if not, just read the whole thing. Men too. And you're like, why? Remember that thing I was telling you about your body being a temple? Let me let y'all in on a little secret. In that scripture, it basically, Apostle Paul basically tell you that God wants you to be single. Hear me out now. He wants you to be single, untouched, and serving him for the rest of your life. That's how God prefers us. Yeah, surprise. He ain't say nothing in there about you getting married. So all y'all out here praying for God to send you somebody, you better make sure that God sent them. Because the devil hear you praying too. Don't say God sent you somebody and you going through all this hell. You're like, I don't understand why I'm going through all this hell. Well, the devil wraps up mess in a pretty package too and will deliver it to your doorstep. And you thinking it's a gift from God, and it's just straight from hell to keep you distracted and away from your purpose. I was like, well, you're supposed to marry for love and commitment and all these beautiful things that these people tell you, right? It's a lie. It's a lie, people. Go read it for yourself. There's only 2 reasons why God say to get married. 2, just 2 reasons. 1, if you cannot contain yourself, meaning if you cannot keep yourself from having sex, you have got to get married, because he says it's better to marry than to burn. Okay? That's reason number 1. Reason number 2, if you want to have children. It doesn't say anything else past that. Y'all understand that? Do you not know how many people never told me that? All my life. And I still do it. Like, I have to go back and go read that thing sometime. And I just one day I was just like, God, I don't know. My daddy wants me to get married, X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, God, I love me. I'm content with me. I'm happy with myself. God, like, yeah, you can be happy with yourself, but you gonna be okay with not having sex for the rest of your life? I'm like, huh? What happened? What? And y'all, I'm real and I'm uncut. I'm authentic. So if you fragile, you may not want to come to my YouTube because I'm a real woman that has been through some real stuff. But I'm telling y'all, I'm trying to do it the way God say do it. I'm trying to tell you. And people like, what you talking about? Some people fast everything, food or whatever else. Month of November, I'm fasting sex. No sex November. Shoot, I think it's been longer than that, to be honest. However the case is, it's given me clarity and it has allowed me to evolve as a person. I've been able to be more in touch with God, hear his voice, and be more creative. So yeah, taking care of your temple, it will elevate you to a whole new mindset. I promise you. You don't even think about it like that. Guys, to be honest with you, it's been a while. So, and yes, I'm telling you my business because this is my podcast and I'm talking about self-care. So, well, this is not my podcast. I'm going to go to podcast next. So like, comment, subscribe. Also, you can join me on my podcast. It's J. Marie Speaks. You can join me on my page. I'm getting ready to actually put together some information because my podcast listeners are waiting. So I got to make sure I get that done. But I hope you enjoyed tonight. I really do. I want you to be inspired. Since and I'm telling you from my personal approach, since I've been more focused on taking care of my temple, guys, I've written 2 books. Of course, I've done traveling. I've just been really busy building me and being impactful, being a positive impact for others too. So it's okay. Guys, choose you every single day. Choose you. Tell yourself, I love you, I love you, I love you. It matters. Hug yourself. Hopefully you don't get bit by a mosquito like I did. Y'all, look at that. I'm a little extra fat. But the other thing is to be mindful of what we put in our bodies. We got to eat right, guys. I'm a little thick. You see that? Look at that. Hey, it's going to get strong, though. It's going to get strong. But, those of you that are on the weight loss journey, I know it gets tough, but guys, we got to keep going. We got to keep moving so we don't get stiff. That's a part of taking care of our temple too. So remember what I told you: mind, body, and soul, okay? And emotional intelligence. Please, please, please learn emotional intelligence. Because if you know and learn emotional intelligence, nobody can trigger you. See, here's a secret. All right? And I'm gonna help y'all take care of yourself with this secret. So you could tell somebody if you want to. You cannot control how anyone treats you, no matter how good you treat them. But you can control how you respond to the disrespect. Okay? You can. So stop running your blood pressure up. And ladies and men, stop checking each other's phone. Y'all are grown people. Ask, hey, just ask straight up. Are you seeing someone else? I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling insecure. And that might be a you problem. But keep it where they can check it if they want to. But if you are sneaking around checking your spouse's phone and all this other stuff, look for an exit because I'm sorry. I sleep real good at night knowing nobody's cheating on me, okay? You do not need somebody else's baggage. If you got a man or a woman that wants to be community property, let them go. Let them go. Save your money, travel, do whatever you need to do that's going to help you have a long and prosperous life. All right? So remember what I told y'all. Take care of you. Take care of your temple. Stop sleeping with people on the first night, because all you're doing is handing that individual the keys. You handing that person, that individual, the keys to your life. And we got to stop that. Take control. Reclaim your power. Reclaim it and know your worth. Because, baby, you have purpose. And that purpose starts by loving you. Okay? All right, y'all. Love y'all. Don't forget, here go your homework, pros, cons about yourself. Assess any relationship associated with that. Get you a 90-day devotional. This is the one that I have that I'm reading. It's really good. Men and women alike, or whatever you gender yourself as. Feed your mind so that you elevate to greatness. Love y'all. What's it? Mwah, mwah, mwah. Have a blessed, fulfilled, and prosperous week. And I will see you guys next Tuesday. All right. Have a good night.